Hello, everyone. Good evening. Happy Saturday. How are you? We're here and we're live and direct. We wanted to bring you some important information. And Diamond, if you can, just let them know uh, the opening, what you always do, give them the details.
Hi, everyone. Thank you guys so much for joining in with us today. As you're coming in, could you please let us know where are you viewing from? And also, as always, as your comments are coming in, we are seeing all the comments and we are saving them and we will circle back to them. So please don't think that you are not seen here. We see you. So if at any time you have a question, we will circle back to your question eventually. But thank you guys so much for joining in today. Hello from Georgia, from Arizona, from Mississippi, Jersey City, from Texas, from Illinois. We thank you all so much for joining in with us here.
And I wanted to bring you some information, and I want you guys to get this because I know with lives, sometimes people dip in and out, but there is a new massive change by the Trump administration that you guys need to know about. Every American is going to be affected by this. So we're going to jump right into it. Diamond, can you bring up the article so we can inform you guys of this change? Because it is going to hurt massively people's credit scores moving forward.
Yes, and as you're coming in, please do remember to like this live. I set this video, but please like this live and share it with anyone that you know. We do have 162 people in viewing off of the bat, so that's amazing. Thank you guys so much for coming in. So I'm going to now present my screen, and we're going to be looking at this article here. So this is an article from, how do you say this, Mom? Ballard?
Baller, yes, Baller. And the CFPB just made a big change, you guys. So the CFPB just took a knee on the American people. So with the CFPB, the industry has overturned a rule with that Biden administration rule on with medical collections showing up on your credit report.
Yes, so the CFPB says that it wants to scrap a Biden administration rule that prohibits credit reporting agencies from including medical debts on credit reports. And one of the many Biden era rules that Trump administration is seeking to nullify. So the rule has been scheduled to take place in March, but the U.S. District Judge Sean Jordan of the Eastern District of Texas had issued a 90-day stay. So that delay rule effective is by tomorrow, so June 15th. And that's why we are having this live, because these changes will take
was
place.
supposed to go in effect as of tomorrow. But now, if you scroll down some, Diamond, just we're going to jump to that part. As you can see here, go up just a little bit on this section below the suit. Go below one
Right
more right here. Okay. And now they are actually considering now they're going to drop this. If you go up a little bit, Diamond, towards the top, they have actually agreed with the CFPB that now they are agree with these companies reporting medical debts on your credit report. Now, the creditors may consider medical information that is reporting using codes that do not identify or provide information sufficient sufficient to inherit
to infer
and to infer the specific provider or the nature of such services, products, or device to a person other than the consumer. They agreed in a joint motion for entry of consent judgment. The medical debt rule prohibits credit reporting agencies from reporting debts, even if they use codes or information to disguise the nature of the medical treatment. In the suit, the Consumer Data Industry Association and the Cornerstone Credit Union League said the CFPB exceeded its authority in issuing the rule. The CDIA headquarters in Washington, D.C., represent the nation and regional credit bureaus. The Cornerstone Credit Bureau League, headquartered in Plano, Texas, represent almost 600 credit unions, including those in Texas. In their suit, the group contended that in the closing days of the Biden administration, the CBP sought to upend the carefully balanced framework established by Congress with a final rule that plainly exceed its statutory authority. The groups asked the court to find that medical debt rule is contrary to the federal law. The CFPB now says it agrees with that contention. So, and you can drop that, Diamond. So as you can see, they secretly now bow down to the ruling and the push of the Trump administration. And now those medical debts, if you still are seeing them, they are not coming off. If you have medical debts and they haven't showed up, they may begin to show up. And so, you guys, there are other groups trying to come in to challenge this, but here is the warning. If you got medical debts, they contact you. You're probably seeing a lot now more because they know this is going on. You must send them a debt validation letter, because if they're sending you those letters in the mail, you only got 30 days to make them validate that debt, or they can slap that on your credit report. Diamond is going to drop the link. We do have debt validation letters. You guys, you want to send it directly to the collection company, making them prove they got a legal right to collect on that debt. Send it certified mail. Do not sign those letters. Whatever you do not sign those letters, because then they can take your signature and put it on a contract. You guys, they are not above that. Do not talk to them people on the phone. If they call you, try this and see if I'm lying or not. Tell them when they call, if they say to me, can I speak to Sherry Beckley? Say, I would be able to talk to you, but I cannot talk to you on a recorded line. They will immediately tell you they cannot do that and hang up, because they're trying to set you up to bind a verbal contract on the phone. That's why they must record you, because most of these debts, they know that it is borderline illegal. So you want to make sure you do not talk to them on the phone. Do not verify your information, because when you verify your information, if they say, let me give you your birth date, let me verify, now that's giving them the information that they got the right person, and you can see that show up on your credit report. Do not do that. If you get that letter in the mail, make sure you send it to them. Now, we have one particularly for a strategy for medical collections, because here's the tea with them. The HIPAA law, the way you have to handle personal medical information and just personal identifiers, the company that is processing it, these collection companies, must adhere to OSHA standards and the HIPAA law. They must keep that private medical information with your procedures and things like that. They are not supposed to share that information. So with the first letter that we have in the package for you to send out, it's just going to look like a regular debt validation letter, asking them for contracts, legal right to collect on the debt. Here's the thing, what they always reply with. What they reply back to most of the times is going to send you a bill. Once they send you a bill for that procedure, you got them. Because now the second letter you send out, it's going to say, the response letter, that they are violating the law, the HIPAA law, that they have that information. And many a times you'll see them back up off of that debt or remove that off of your credit report. So that's how you want to challenge them, because when it comes to medical information, they must follow the HIPAA law on that, and they should not know your procedures and what you went for, and any personal identifiers connected to your medical history. So that's where you're going to get them. So what they are saying about the codes, long as it doesn't show the procedure, because they know that violates the HIPAA law. That's why they're saying, oh, longer on the credit report, that the codes don't show procedures. But what they don't really completely compute, when you send them that debt validation letter, they don't have a contract. They're going to send you back the bill from wherever you created that bill at for whatever medical facility. So you want to make sure that that's the angle that you attack that. You can even try to attack that with even like care credit. If you have got care credit and some of that defaulted as a charge off, try to even challenge that when you dispute that they're violating the HIPAA law. Because on that care credit account, many people got medical procedures. And so you can even try to attack that from that angle. So Diamond, you can come back up, and we're going to try to answer you guys' questions. But what's your take on you feel about that?
I'm sorry, Mom, you got muted really quick. Say that one more time.
I said, how do you feel about some of these changes?
Well, especially for the medical debts, that when we see a lot of people come in and they need our help, it is for that reason. And I seen someone ask in the comments, well, what about HIPAA laws and things of that nature? And so for a lot of people, I see that this is going to be really damaging, especially when they just did the whole student loans movement where they're now going to be garnishing people's checks. And then with inflation, it seems like it's going to be a really difficult time financially for people. And the question is, what do you do when you're in a bind? Okay, let's say you have the student loans, because many people do. Then let's say you have medical collections. What do you pay off first? What should your focus be first when it feels like, okay, well, I have my fixed bills to pay for, I have rent, and I have this and this and that to pay for, and at some point it feels like something is going to slip into the cracks, and it's like, well, out of all of these things, which one do I allow slip into the cracks if I'm in a bad financial situation right now, and what do I do? And one thing that I realize is that you cannot budget these things away. So it doesn't matter how much you try to save your money. It doesn't matter how much you try to pull back, and you're trying to live a more modest lifestyle. You have to make an additional income in order to juggle these things and to be able to pay off all of these debts, or else you're going to be put in a bad predicament where you have to choose between your credit and the cash that you have on hand. And so I guess my question to you would be, which one do you choose? Do I choose the cash that I have on hand, or do I use this money to pay off the credit card bills? Do I use this money to try to fight the collections, or to come to a agreement where I pay to delete? Do I use this money to pay off the student loans? What do I do?
And I love that you brought that up. And this gives me an opportunity to educate everyone. When it comes down to student loan debts, they are a very unique situation. Unfortunately, your government screwed you over with that. They made it that those debts it's very hard to bankrupt that off. You can bankrupt off tax debt, but they don't allow for bankruptcy for that. And the way that they legislated that with the law, student loans is a unique thing. You got to pay it or you're going to take it to your grave with you. I'll be honest. That is such a tough thing, and it will keep you from getting a home, because even a lot of people think if I dispute that off, then I can go and get the home. No, because the system is connected. They know that debt is there. So that you are best to set up a payment plan and try to get that off. But when it comes to medical and consumer collections, these are totally different types. Those are the types that you can challenge. So those are third parties. And with third parties, they a lot of times are lying about that debt. Portfolio Recovery Services got caught last year by the CFPB and had to pay a big fine because they actually was putting debts on people, taking them to court for lawsuits on debts they didn't owe at all and was time barred, meaning they couldn't even collect on it. And some of those people moved and they were getting default judgments on people. So with those debts, you guys, those you want to make sure with your medical debts, you call your medical provider. Make sure your insurance did not pay for that, because they will snatch up names and slap stuff on you. That's the same thing with consumer collection. When I tell you these people are borderline illegal, these people are on the brink of being illegal and using the mail to defraud you. So all of that, even with the postal inspectors, a lot of this, if you don't owe the debt, that's fraud on their end. So you want to make sure you send in that debt validation letter and challenge. Now, the one thing with medical debts, why this is so damaging, you can't stop your kid from being sick. Your spouse, you're talking about children, even with cancer. A lot of times for me, working out of insurance, health insurance, a lot of your cancer policies that you have only cover 80% of that bill. And you might say 80% is a large amount. Not when people are got 100,000 in cancer treatment. That stuff can add up real quick. Now that's 20 grand that you're on the hook. Then these people can sue you and take your home. You can't get a job. You can't, all these things that because a person got sick. That's something you can't control. And a lot of people, like I always say, I never saw a person that just woke up and said, I just decided to mess up my credit report today. Either they got sick, they lost income, something happened, a loved one. It's nothing more. Diamond, even when she was born, she had challenges by actually her intestines was born outside of her body. And even with me, I had a large medical bill for her. And thank God my parents actually had both of us for coverage. My mom and dad, one had to pay $150,000 for her being in the NICU, and my mother's covered $75,000, their health care, because my parents and I was in their household. Since I was covered by them, they covered Diamond. There's no way I could have dealt with that for a child being born sick, something outside of your control, and that can devastate somebody's financial life. So this not only is going to be damaging that same medical debt. When I went to close on my home, you guys, there's something that the bureaus, they sell your information. They lost millions, billions of dollars not having that on your credit report because they are a data house. That's all they do. They're not federal bureaus. They sell your information. The worse your credit scores is, the more they sell that debt for. They sell that information. Banks love for you to have bad credit because now they can justify charging you higher interest rates. That's it. The collection companies, those are their customers. They can't leverage credit terrorism against you by smacking that on your credit report. And when I went to close for my first home, do you know a bill from with Diamond that was paid off right the day before my closing, they hit my credit report because they see that you're going to look from a home, because when you get those hard inquiries looking for a mortgage and they read that, the credit bureau send your information out, letting everybody know that you're looking for a home, and they know to hit you right then, because I could not close until I paid that off. I could not. And my parents, I was crying. My mom and dad had to give me that money. I had the money in my bank account to pay it, but they said they were going to drop my closing. I had over like $18,000, $18,000 in my bank account. But when you're on the closing, they got you so wrapped up that if you pull that money out, they were saying, well, we're going to drop it because for your closing costs, you have to have money to at least pay 3 months in advance of your mortgage. And so my parents had to give me a gift letter and pay that for me so I can close. And so, y'all, that's the name of the game. These people don't want you to own nothing. They want to make you debt slaves. If y'all didn't see, and I won't go into it to murk up the live, the video I talked about going cashless on 2025, really watch that. There's another move that they made tied into this in order to make sure they're collecting from you, that you can't work outside the system. They now, interest rates are really high. It's hard enough to qualify for a home to make that income. And now they can slap this right before you close. And then that's going to knock a lot of people out of the game. It's going to drop credit scores. When they hit people credit scores, people are going to see a dip of at least bare minimum of 50 points on their credit scores dropping. So this is part of, I believe, Charles Schwab with the 2020, I think it was 2017, the theme of the World Economic Forum. Even though he's not there anymore, it's still, the play is in play. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. That's the rollout, the great reset. You're going to rent from them. And I'm going to make a video giving y'all insights on that, on why they are fixing to crash the system. Red or blue, neither is for you. This is why Democrats ain't yelling. This would be a perfect time to tell everybody this, that this got rolled back, because everybody would be upset. Nobody's talking about that. You know why? Because both sides are being funded by millionaires. And what I'm going to put together to drop for y'all, I'm going to have to show you how all these people are the same folks. They're working. I got hardcore evidence, and I know people are so triggered by things. This is nothing but political theater. They are playing in all of us face. All of them are being funded by the same freaking people. Trust and believe. They're working for the billionaires, and they're all working for their own interests, like that student loan debt. You should forgive it. No, you shouldn't. You should forgive it. None of them, neither side, ever talked about, what about the PPP loans that the big corporations got forgiven? What about that? Wouldn't it be a great idea? You gave them $760 million worth of forgiven loans for them to pay that back, and they made a profit of over $4 trillion, the highest amount during that pandemic. Why wasn't it asked for them to pay that back? Because when you look at it, Nancy Pelosi husband, Paul Pelosi, got $28 million worth of forgiven loans. Marjorie Taylor, I don't like welfare green, $183,000. MAGA Gates, he got over $500,000. And down there in Florida, James Buchanan or Buchanan, the rep down there, $5 million. On the Democrat, it was even worse. A lot of them, $15 million, all of that. Them folks sitting them butts in that seat, who you pay for their health care, got the top health care, barely being there. Some of y'all couldn't work through the pandemic. They behind was working, and they ran out with a bag on top of that. And the reason why neither side say, hey, what about the corporations? Because all of them got paid. And if you want to go back to that video, I showed y'all the freaking list and the evidence. Long list. Both of them got paid. That's why they not going to say it. That's why they not. Mitch McConnell, his wife, all of them got their bag. So now they'll have you guys fighting with one another. Oh, they should pay it. Interest is, inflation is high. Why should I pay for yours? Yeah, okay, why should you? But why did we pay for them to run off with some free money? The folks that was actually working, they have health care. Your senators, Congress reps, all got their money. And that's why they play in your face. Like when you was in school, you ever had, Diamond, I know you had that. Say it was a friend or somebody, they fighting. And then they try to get you wrapped up to fight another person. And you look back, you fighting with this person and they standing back, sniggling and giggling. The two people that should be fighting, they laughing at y'all fighting. That's what they're doing. They're pushing you to fight, playing in your faces. It's a reason. I don't care if they get up in there broke. When they done, they come out rich. Their children rich and they be mega rich. Okay? They ain't no brokety broke rich because their real constituents is not me or you. It's the billionaires. If you're going to be a career politician, you need big donors to advertise, to run those ads. That's why they won't take that big money out. Elon Musk just playing in your face openly. That's all it is. But he was on the Democrat side before Trump got shot. He was up there funding. He's been a Democrat and then flip and flop. That's why you saw Bezos, supposed to be a big liberal, down there at the inauguration, down at Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, he over there. Zuckerberg, Lizard Zuckerberg. I think he a reptilian. Zuckerberg. I'm a liberal. And right up there, y'all go and run the run back on the inauguration. All of them sitting up there, going down to kiss the ring, putting that money in that slush fund of Trump to build that dang on library slush fund. And they all sitting up there together. Okay, because like that rap song back in the day, we all in the same game. They all in the same game, child. They all of them friends together. They do that up in your face, and they sniggle and giggle, and they're working together. That's why when you look at those votes, so-and-so voted for this. That's because that's what they're doing. They're playing in their face, enriching their own pockets, why the rest of us is getting set up and our lifestyles is not going up for like the next generation. Everybody is going down. And if you look, their profits, the wealthy is higher than ever before. The working class and the middle class is, now you got the working poor pretty much. The middle class is shrinking and shrinking. And so this is part of that same plan. Trust and believe. They're pushing it with these high interest rates. You could barely qualify for a home. And they want to drive the prices down so they can go right back up and buy it up. And then you can't get a home. You'll be a constant renter. They're itching. They can't stand that these boomers got all of that. That they can't break the freaking boomers. My God, they are trying to figure out, because the boomers got all that wealth, how to get the boomers off of that wealth. They can't stand that fact that the boomers got sitting on some money because they want everybody broke. They can't stand the fact that when the boomers pass on that wealth to the millennials, they're set up now, the millennials, to be the wealthiest group, the wealthiest generation, because of the money that the boomers. And so that's really what they're trying to get at. That's what why a lot of these games and a lot of cities that you're seeing, that they're raising these taxes, that some of your elders can't even stay in those homes because they want to get them up off of it. That's what they're trying to do. And somebody said Gen X. No, it's going to be the millennials that's going to. Gen X is too busy taking care of millennials, Gen Z, and boomer. We getting drained. We getting drained to the drain. A lot of what they're saying, even Gen X, they're now taking care of their parents. They're taking care of Gen Z, and a lot of millennials is there with them. So the millennials, Gen Z is one of the smallest generations. I'm in Gen Z, but a lot of them is taking care of everybody. So I'm telling you, you guys, now is you really have to consider your movements. It's kind of been that way, but they're really keeping everybody. They're really trying to make peasantry. That's what you saw in England and France. There's going to be lords, and everybody else is just going to be peasants. And so they're doing this with a cashless system. They're moving over to that, so you cannot work outside of the system. So just be careful and watch your movements. Diamond, you can come up and we're going to take some questions. Do you want, should we drop the link to see if anybody want to come up?
If anybody wants to come up and just, hey, express your opinion, if you have any questions, I am going to drop the link to StreamYard. Now, be warned, you will have to either sign into a YouTube account, a Google account, or something of that nature. So it may take you a little second for you to come up. But if you are looking to come up, can you just say, just let us know in the comments, hey, I want to come up, and then we'll be, expecting and waiting for you to go ahead and set up your account, because it just might take a little second before you get it.
And we'll answer your questions in the meantime. Diamond, we'll be searching. Let's search for your questions, because I know some people, they don't have any questions or want to come up. You might be more comfortable, down in the comment section. So we want to make sure. Thank you, Chris. He said, your brother from Newark, preach. Yes, Newark, New Jersey in the house. Much love to the Brick City. Everybody that's there. And it's just really now, you guys, we just like how Chris, Newark, all these places going back to people working together. And we're just going to have to go back to that old school families working together. You might have to look as families. I'm seeing a big trend of people getting family compounds. Again, purchasing family land together. That might be the way to go, you guys, to really start working together and have generational homesteads. A lot of people are doing that now. I'm seeing, even like Diamond, your millennial situation, a lot of millennials are going to tiny homes, thinking about ways where they can get equity and not be house poor, which is a great way. And they cannot have to work for all these big homes and constantly work, but have more freedom. So
I also wanted to say to that, well, you accidentally say you was Gen Z, but you're Gen X. But
I'm Gen X. You're right. Sorry.
Yes, I just wanted to just correct.
No, but Gen X is taking care of Gen Z. Lord, no, I'm not Gen Z.
But I wanted to say too, I think a part of that in the wealth with millennials does have to do with women in education. While I was seeing a report today that the average age, which has never been before in American history, and I think that this may be similar worldwide, is that women are having children a lot later. So they're having children around the average woman is having a child, the millennial woman is having a child around 30. And so I think, and that's due to education, whether you have a college degree. And I said that to say that if there are any women that are 30 and younger, to make sure that you are acquiring skills that are going to be assets in the future, especially with AI. And I'm a huge chat GPT enthusiast, but to be honest, it terrifies me to see the capabilities of AI. And now they have chat GPT, or they it's not exactly chat GPT, but other AI things where they call them AI agents. And so they will actually be able to work on your behalf and while you're sleeping. So without you having to do prompts and without you having to tell it, it can answer your email. So that will be replacing virtual assistants. Anybody that are in lower level skill sets, AI is going to replace that within the next year, within the next 2 years. And so I am very afraid to see what that looks like for us in the next 5 years. So we have to acquire skills that need human, like people said, human empathy. So things like in healthcare and things like that, it's very difficult to replace people there. But to make sure that wherever you are going to school, wherever you're going to college, wherever you're acquiring skills, that you are making sure that those things are not going to be obsolete, especially with student loans and how much they cost and how damaging they are. If you get a degree in something where you're going to be replaced in the next 2, 3 to 5 years, that will be devastating. So making sure that you acquire skills in AI, even for people that don't want to touch it, I think it's important to make sure that you do know and you are familiar with using it for your benefit so that it can't replace you. So I just wanted to say that, and especially with Gen Z and millennials to, be careful when it comes to, as women, to continue to be educated, to have children later on in life when you're established and things of that nature. And that's how you will be able to build wealth in this new era. Things are looking different now.
And just to answer Valerie's question about the public service loan forgiveness, yes, that's for nonprofits. That's still going on. You can get credits for 10 years, but you even if you got out of it and came back into public service, they do, but you have to certify. So with your company, I'll call your student loan your student loan servicer and ask them about the details, because each year you do have to certify, and I believe you have to work over 30 hours, but that is still in place. So just to follow up what Diamond said, just with young women too, because we have somebody even who's going to come up on the stage. Young women, I just finished telling my daughter this. Ladies, do something for yourself. Women, while you single, invest in real estate. Think about becoming landlords, getting wealth. I think me investing in real estate now, me having that foresight, that was probably one of the greatest things to get an income producing kind of property through real estate. It has been so solid now, went for approvals for things like that. You don't have to, maybe you can do things different ways to make money off of real estate, where it doesn't have to be the traditional landlord, because that terrifies people. But there's different ways through farming, USDA, where you can to make raw land work for you or live there. Find ways to invest for yourself before you get married, because it's going to take a lot moving forward for men and women to come together with wealth. Don't and I just said that to women because a lot of women are scared. I hear a lot of women say, I can't buy a house until I get a husband and stuff. And sometimes you're missing opportunity on building wealth. You know what I mean? Because you have that, not saying men shouldn't do that, but a lot of women, they be like, oh, until I get a husband. And sometimes you want to get something under your belt. So when y'all come together, you have something solid for you. Because like Diamond said, a lot of y'all have very good paying jobs. Clean up your credit, leverage that job so you can get assets, because there's a lot of educated women especially in the Black community. A lot of y'all educated don't miss that opportunity now to build for yourself. So I just wanted to include that and explore investing in real estate. I don't know if people are biblical believers, but Proverbs 31 and 10, it says she actually sought out a field and she purchased it. So real estate, even then, for women who she used her skills and had made in a small business. And I love that she purchased she sought out a field and purchased a field, and with her proceeds she made a vineyard. So that represents generational wealth, because if you look at vineyards now, oh baby, that is family money. So she saw foresight to build for her family. And women, you can do the same thing. So I'll land that there. And we're gonna bring up Miss Baker.
Yes.
How
Hello.
are
Hi, everyone.
how you doing?
Hi, Miss Baker. Thank you so much for coming up.
Thank you for having me. In 2011, I signed a Parent Plus loan for my daughter.
Oh wow.
No, 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 no. That's not the problem.
Oh, that's not the
I was
problem. Oh,
not. It's a problem, but it's not the problem.
okay.
Um, Before it was time to start paying, I was already paying.
Okay.
So in 2011, I was paying, and I was paying every 2 weeks, $75, because the amount was a little that I took out. So um, about 2012, I noticed like the first payment never showed up, and the company that owned it at the time, because it was a federal Parent Plus. So we see it. I said, "But why I don't see it listed? It's not showing
Mhm.
on your website." So I kept paying about till 2013. Life happened. I stopped. I knew it was good. Have interest. Wasn't bothered with it. COVID still wasn't bothered. Now we have to pay. I'm okay with, starting payment again.
Mhm.
But now a new company has it, uh, A- Advantage,
Mhm.
and they're not showing any of the payments from 2011. And it says the original balance was 8,000. Original principal was 8,000. The current principal is 9,000 something. So how can a
Who was
principal
who was
go up?
the original loan servicer?
I'm trying to think if it was, because I have
Sally
it written.
Sally Mac or Sally Mae?
Yes, I think it was one of those. Yes.
Yeah, because they got caught for not applying payments like that. And what you want to do is go to studentloan.gov or studentloan.gov, and you want the whole history of that account, because a lot of them Nelnet got caught doing that. Actually, Sally Mae, it is Nelnet. They changed once they got caught, they changed names, and then they came into to Nelnet, and then they got caught, and these companies just keep going and going. So they wasn't applying those payments right. They got hit up. One of them, because they was pushing people into deferment where they could have actually did the income driven plan that could have
Hmm.
actually saved them interest. So what you do is go there and request the whole account history. That's
Okay.
where you're going to find what payments you made. And also, if you have any records, try to get your hand on that. If you
Now
have,
that's the whole thing. I tried to go back to my bank at that time. I spoke to them a few days ago, and they said they don't hold the records that long.
okay, well, what you do is get that whole payment history, and then you can
Okay.
challenge that and look at the payments.
Okay. So is there any way that I can have? Okay, I'm going to go to Sally Mae, try to get
No,
the,
no, no, not Sally Mae. studentloan.gov, studentaid.gov. I knew it was
Studentaid.gov. Okay.
yeah.
'Cause, so is that a kind of a loophole that even though I'm paying currently now, I could say, yeah, you put stuff on my credit report that's not right.
Well, you want to make sure you get that, and yeah, then you can challenge it. And if they don't remove it, you can get get a consumer law attorney, a consumer law attorney that can challenge that. Somebody in our
Okay.
group did that, but you need your hands on the hardcore evidence, so you need to get that account history from studentaid.gov. So you want to get that whole, yeah,
Studentaid.gov.
and you can
Thank you
request
so
that.
much.
You're more than welcome. Yeah. So
Thank you.
that's where you want to start there and examine those payments and see if they applied that correctly.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
I
All
thank
right.
you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming up.
Hey,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
go ahead. No, I'm listening.
Okay. We're gonna bring up Davina now. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good-
Davina, how are you?
Peace and blessings to you all. I'm doing okay.
Long time no see.
Right? No time, no see. It's been a minute. I thought you forgot about me.
No, girl, I ain't forget about you. I ain't forget about the Crown family now. No. How you been?
I've been doing good. You
How's
know,
your daughter and her channel?
she still got her channel running over there.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, what do you have to you think about the situation, or do you have any questions on credit?
My credit has been in the 600, maybe 650 range. I
Okay.
don't have a W-2 job at all. For the last 2 years, I haven't worked a W-2 job. I've earned my money doing things online
Okay.
and with digital real estate is concerned, like having a blog, getting monetized and things like that with long form content and stuff like that.
Okay.
That's that's how I have to earn my money because AI is taking a lot of jobs. The only ones that are that you can do is the ones you got to pay background check for.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Now, TurboTax, they're not going to use AI. They need real tax experts to work from home on the computer paying good money and things like that. Because I share work from home jobs and stuff.
Okay, that's awesome.
Right. And that's how I have to earn my money and stuff because people are looking for solutions. It's a lot of uncertainty that's going on, I do feel. And we need to be creative and make our own income because these jobs are not jobbing like they used to in the physical realm. I don't think they are.
And that's absolutely correct. And one of the ways that you're doing it with doing social media, that is going to really be a good, that's actually a skill because it's really like marketing.
Yeah.
And now even a lot of advertisers, they know this is the place to be. One of the things that you can do if you're getting YouTube revenue, create yourself, get your LLC, line it up with YouTube. And I suggest that you go through ADP and pretty much set yourself up on a payroll. You can also through them set up a 401k. So if you're working for that LLC, that company, not only that's going to help if you need to go to the bank, you'll have your W-2s, you have your pay stubs for lending, and you're putting money into Social Security, and any tax obligation that's going to limit that for you, and you'll be able to get loans that way. So
Cool.
that might be an avenue for yourself, and then you can have that business that's generating income towards business credit, and then on your personal side, you have your pay stubs, so you can, if it's things that you want to leverage to get a car, whatever, just for you personally, or a mortgage, you have you have those W-2s and things in place.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I got to do. You're right. You're
Yeah,
so
and
right
it's
about
very
that.
inexpensive with ADP, and they'll put your money in a 401k. and you can just invest so you can have your own retirement, and you don't, any tax liability, and then you can go to the bank and you can borrow because you are working for your a corporation, and that's yours. And even through there, you'll be surprised. Check with your state health benefits and things like that. You can get, me and Diamond have health benefits, but that's part of like one thing of our setup is working through a corporation, because this is a media company. A lot of people, y'all have to know how to present too. It's not like I'm an influencer, you're a media company. This is media. You get what I'm saying? I don't do credit repair whatsoever. We are educational media company. You know what I'm saying? Because the banks don't fund certain things. You get what I mean? And you're marketing and advertising.
Yeah.
So when you go there for business credit, I'm into marketing, digital marketing, advertising, because certain things is very toxic that they don't want to lend, but things that are, like you're saying, digital, they love that, even if it's from home. You get what I'm saying? A lot of people want to they'll use consulting and stuff, and the banks have caught on to that, so they'll deny a lot of stuff, or anything in real estate that is real toxic right now. But the realm that you're in, if you present right, it can open up. You can create great wealth, really, and get access to lending. So you're not challenged, because you already know being like self-employed is very hard with the banks. But if you take that angle, then you just move around the cabin.
Right. And my last thing is that I invest in Fundrise. Is that good to do real estate investing in?
Yes, Diamond, you are a Fundrise. Yes, that's a way with through crowdfunding. Diamond, you want to break that down in detail with the Fundrise? Now, I don't personally, well, because I got physical, but she invests in Fundrise.
So I thought that I invested, but I think I covered it in a video. But I want to speak to that to say yes, absolutely. And in the last video I made, I really talked about investments and making sure that you have ways of creating passive income and holding your investments, whether that's like in stocks or even there's something I covered that is, I know you all heard about investing in vending machines, but they now have AI smart vending machines. So the difference is that like a traditional vending machine where you would have to, use cash or you have to use coins. Most of us don't carry that type of stuff anymore, or you have to swipe your card, and people are more conscious about when they're selecting. But now they have something, the smart fridges or the smart vending machines, where you open it up like a fridge and people kind of pick out, they swipe their card first, then they pick out their food, almost like, how you pick out your food in the fridge. And so it's that same vending machine thing, right? But it has a higher way of earning money. Now, the thing with those vending machines, as most people know, they can cost anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000. But with the smart AI ones, they actually have leasing and renting options where you can rent these things for $100 a month, $150 a month. And some of them have plans where they might put you on a 6-month plan for $100 a month. And after that, you can choose to not participate anymore in it if you were like, okay, this wasn't lucrative. But just finding those different ways of creating passive income, and the average person makes about $1,000 a month in those the AI fridges. And I even showed on Fiverr, you can go to Fiverr and you can pay somebody $25 to $50 to make the cold calls and to set the deals for you, where to place those vending machines. But I just said that to say it's finding ways to invest, because even in social media, I'm a very optimistic person. I'm not cynical at all. But I said that to say, with AI, and there's a lot of AI becoming better, and now they're trying to create AI influencers. Not trying to, they have created AI influencers, and this social media stuff is going to go out the door soon too. And so your best bet is to make as much money as you can right now, put it into some type of investment, real estate, vending machines, the crowdfunding, Bitcoin, this and this and that. I'm going to show y'all my video because I break down all the numbers, APY, high yield savings accounts, things like that, where your money can grow for you, because these things are going to get very interesting. Things are going to get very difficult because of AI in every industry. So social media, even right now, and just people having access to knowledge, where we're in a space where, you know, selling your knowledge is powerful. People having that same exact access to that knowledge also makes the competition difficult. And now they're making, again, AI influencers where they don't have to pay influencers to sponsorships and brand deals. They can create their own AI people. And it is coming to a place where people cannot tell the difference. Like, you probably scrolled through social media and you saw AI characters and you did not know that they weren't real people. And so this business is getting scary. So I just said that to say, make as much money as you can, put it in all types of investment things where your money is going to grow, and let it grow. So in crowdfunding and Fundrise specifically, yeah, it's a good place to go. But I just say diversify as much.
Yeah, because they invest in crowdfunding and, like you said, other ways to generate income. So yes, Fundrise is a good way to get into real estate investment. And like with me, maybe because I'm so old school, I like tangible. Like I like to touch minds. You know what I'm saying? So you can have a level of control. I just really see raw land right now as a great opportunity, because with builders, they have in certain areas overbuild. I do know in some regions y'all are in, if you're in Jersey and some of those regions, you might have to play outside of there, you know, ways. But from me, I love the tiny home movement, or now what, just all, maybe because I always been into housing since 21, but the things that can be done, I think, like group land, better tax benefits. You can grow your own food if you have raw land. You dig deep enough, you got water, and you can kind of get self sufficient. Like, so, and controlling that to try to make that land pretty much produce for you. I mean, that's just me, because you can find cheap land all over, but there's ideas of making money with land. I think Diamond, you did with Neighbor is a way where if y'all can find these lands, you can go to Landmodo. There's places that y'all can do monthly payments, owner seller financing. And my dad, maybe one day we will have dad on. My father, he's been dealing in land for years and he knows a lot. He'll tell you he's a tree farmer. Okay. He just plant trees. The USDA do that, and he cut parts of acres. And it's not a bad investment, to be honest, because he have like 74 acres of land. And sometimes in one cut, depending on how many acres he's cutting, it's like $60,000. That's not a bad investment with hardwood. So maybe raw land. A lot of people also, there's people that love the outdoors. If you got raw land in a rural area, people will lease for you to go hunting, because a lot of people that want to hunt, you know, you can't shoot unless you have a certain amount of acres. You know, like I even think even down in Texas, in order for you to hunt on your own land, you have to, or have a shooting kind of range, you need 10 acres and up. So this can create, even in some of these places like raw land that's really cheap, you guys might have a new way of making money. And even like, so like, you know, green energy, solar panels, there's a lot of ways that you can make money, I think, off of land and controlling it. And anytime, you never know how life is going to be when you leave here. Your children might need a place to go. You know what I'm saying? It might not be where they want to go now, but that's how I see it. They gonna want a place to go. So that's thing. But keep, even with the crowdfunding, Miss Davina, I think that's an awesome way that you're going, that you're active.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that information.
Thank you for coming up. Thank you for coming and joining the panel. We really appreciate you.
You're welcome. You have a wonderful evening.
You too. Thank you.
Mhm.
Anybody else? Somebody else said van life is really big. I did enjoy some of the van life videos too. And it's so many different ways people are being digital diamond, what, nomads. A lot of people are moving to if you're working off your laptop, different countries. And so I say now is the time. Somebody said hunting, Miss Miller, hunting Airbnbs. And it's so many things, but like Diamond said, with AI coming, really, you guys, being creative now is gonna be the way. I just feel like if you can control where you're living, you can do so much more if you don't have the pressure of where you're living, and that's under control. It really pretty much give you a lot of flexibility, and that's a lot of pressure where people, most of the bulk of their income goes towards their housing costs. So just really considering certain things, even with your children, instead of everybody pushing their kids out, building like tiny homes from tough sheds and things like that. So that will be other things. I would like to ask you guys, because me and Diamond was working on, are you guys interested? Drop a 1 in the chat on different ways for housing or getting homes and land, and invest in creative ways where we can show you, go out in the field and show you ideas if y'all interested in that. Or drop a 2, you're really just kind of interested in credit. So because we do have some ideas and some places where y'all can see some alternate ways, even into modular homes and different kind of ways of really thinking. And maybe even we've been talking about raw land, because that's the way that people need to have affordable housing. So I see a lot of 1s in the chat. And Diamond, do you have anything? I know you were looking into some things to add about the housing part.
Well, no, you pretty much said everything. That's just my position. It's just to make sure that you.
Somebody said, "Did you get my question?" No. Good. Can you drop it again? Good, and we'll look.
Yes, please drop it again, because I actually don't see your question here.
And Charlie said 1 and 2, and we would do 1 and 2. I like that, Charlie, because 1 and 2 will show different ways, of course, even with financing, with that, and just ideas of talking. And somebody say, yes, I'm interested in owning farmland, and I have some ideas, like to know that I got. Can you say that last part? You got some ideas about farmland. That's awesome, because farmland is a good way to go. And I know it's just really kind of getting that, especially if people are really have a passion for farming. Yeah. But I do understand farmland now is so expensive land, compared to what it was. And there are different options. Some people are leasing out farmland. Like, so if you really want to farm, there's some people that if they already have farmland, or if you guys have family land, you can lease that out for farming. That is big, because a lot of people like Diamond, that's millennials, that's really passionate about it. They can't really get started. I see it's a whole wave of people because they can't afford the farmland. So there are ways now, if you guys control land, family land, you can lease that out so people can use the land for grazing, something that's not really, that's going to really devastate your land, but something natural. And it might help you keep down some of the bush like that. And even with my father, I don't know if y'all know, like I said, I get my dad up here. with USDA, some of those, they will put a pond there and stock the pond on your land.
Yeah.
So they will dig a pond for you, depending if you have that, and they would stock it with fish. So you can, those that like hunting and fishing, that's another thing to do with raw land. Certain places, it's places that people come and they will pay to hunt. And so there's people that's setting up just hunting, and people will go out there. Diamond, you've seen that. It's some, like, even around in this area, they just want a dang on tent out there.
Yeah.
They want real roughing it.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of it's good. And like you said, with the AI, it's very intimidating. But even with the AI, it does give you avenues that if you have those unique ideas, now you're not paying for advertising. You can show and get that product out there if you have land, or if you're interested in getting into that, and then you're by RV parks. That's another thing. Even older people selling their homes and they want to just travel. And I was even interested in that. You got younger people, small families, that while their children, before they go to school, they're getting an RV and traveling, to show them the world, or show them the country. And so those might be ideas, and maybe Diamond, we can do some content around that. So that's great that you guys are interested in that, and that'll give us some maybe to present to you some new ways of seeing things, whether you like it or not. And we'll just tie in some options with financing that.
Yes.
Any more questions, Diamond?
It was plenty. I'm trying to keep up. I'm going to go with this one where someone asks, what is ADP? Can you just reiterate what ADP is and why?
ADP is the paycheck company. You guys, y'all probably, if y'all got checks from your job, you know how you had at the bottom ADP, the ones that printed your check, they're like a payroll servicing kind of company. So if you have your own company, or you are an employee for your company, they can set up the payroll for you and who you have for your employees. I know with ADP too, Diamond, what they say, if you have more than one employee, long as they're not a relative, they can also help with healthcare. They do have like health benefits and plans. So that's what ADP is. So it's the payroll servicer company, and they'll send you your W-2s and do all your state and federal filings for you.
Yes. If anybody else, please drop your questions in here. You guys are very active tonight. Thank you guys very much. I'm trying to get to all your questions. So someone said the big beautiful bill authorizes Trump to give all of our data to
Peter Thydell. Yeah, Peter
Thydell. Who backstands? No one's talking about that. I guess that's more of a comment than it is a question.
Yeah. I forgot the Peter Thydell is the owner, or him and Elon Musk started PayPal, which was another name, and X. That's where it was, but X was with PayPal. So Peter Thydell is PayPal, and JD Vance is really his boy. But they have, oh my God, it's some kind of Peter Thydell. They have a software, AI software, where it can go through information. I forgot the name of it. Oh my God. And some kind of way it can sort through it, because they want them to use it for the riot, or like the rioting over there, like with some of the pictures and stuff, that it can sort through and actually list out people, like through the data that's all in the system. So like what they're saying, to give your information, they're saying like he got a software to sort through all this data. And they want them to pull and use that for some of the people in the rioting, like the people that was arrested, or through the cameras, to pull up the profiles to locate people. So yeah, it is getting I think they gave Peter Thydell that government contract. Yeah, it's one of them government contracts for like Homeland of Security. It is like in that military contract realm. So you're absolutely right.
Thank you for that comment. Brittany asked, what's the difference between restricted and unrestricted land?
Oh, restricted land, more or less is a lot of times it'll be certain things you can do with that, usually in the deed. So where you have HOAs, they might not, in that subdivision or community, they might not allow you to do certain things. So one thing big down here, they may have farmland, or what they have an ag exemption, mean for agriculture. But if it's in a subdivision, they might say, yes, you can have certain farm animals, but not pigs, because pig pens smell. So that would be a light restriction. They'll say a light deed restriction. And so unrestricted land, generally you could do a lot with that land. There's no restrictions, and there's still like no zoning, because the town, sometimes, a lot of times, if you're in a city area, but if you're down like we're in Texas right now, more of a rural area, you're not in the city limits. Being from Jersey, a lot of y'all don't even know about not being in the city limits. You always, unless you way down in South Jersey or out there. But even with sometimes there's still zoning that come into play, but unrestricted land usually don't even have zoning. And so that can be good and bad, because sometimes your neighbors could do stuff. You might have a lot of land, but some things you might not want to be done, like a lot of dirt bikes, and the kids is making all that noise on the land, and it kind of take away from your peace. But sometimes light deed restrictions is helpful, so it can keep the neighborhood good. And then sometimes, it can be a pain in the butt, depending on what you want to do with that property or that lifestyle. Like Diamond, one time we went to look at land, and you was like, I don't want to see no cows. I am bothered. I said, why wouldn't you want to see no cows? She said, I'm bothered by seeing cows. So Diamond surely wouldn't want to be by no restriction. I don't want to see no cows out my way. She's just wholly bothered by seeing cows. I was like, you don't think it's nice that she said no. So in her thing, she would not want to buy unrestricted land, because somebody might be, so she want to get in a community where there's the restrictions say no livestock. Okay, so that's how that goes.
I want to see children playing with the ball.
You don't want to see
not cows pooping on my lawn down the street.
But they not pooping on your lawn. They pooping. You can't
control. You can't control where a cow.
You gonna want that cow poop if you want a nice fertilized lawn. Now, cow, you like speak for you. Or is that horse manure? One of them fertilized.
I think it's horse manure. Cows don't need to know.
I think cows poop ain't bad, is it?
It's organic. I don't like poop, so that's just organic.
We got one more person we're gonna bring to the stage. It's Miss Green. Miss Green, how are you? Can you hear me, Miss Green? Can you hear me? Oh, her mic might be off.
Miss Green, can you unmute your mic? Or I can unmute it. I think we may be trying to unmute you at the same time. I'm gonna unmute
her mic. See if we can.
Oh, no.
No. She might have to unmute.
Now
we can hear you. How are you?
I'm doing great. I thought you guys were off, because I thought I was an hour behind you guys, because I'm on Eastern time. Good to see you. But I was just listening to the beginning of your video, and then I found this, and I saw you guys are still online live.
You're like,
so I missed the whole thing.
You're live. You're on the stage with us.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
How's
this
Jane doing?
oh, she's right here.
Hi, Sherry.
Jane. Oh, they
Hi.
have been members. They are so, oh my God, they are so awesome. I
You've
really
been doing great.
We've been doing
Our
great.
credit score's been jumping, girl.
I know that's right. I'm so happy because I know you guys like with life be life and out where you are. I won't dox you. But I know it was some changes y'all was going through to move around a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah, so
We're
I know
doing
you had,
good.
and
We're doing really good. Right now we're in the middle of getting our house like touched up. Nothing's wrong with it, but we're trying to touch it up more, and then we're gonna sell it, and then probably have a house built.
I know that's right. That's the way to go. It's a lot in y'all area, a lot of land out there. Are you going to stay around the more in the urban, in the city, or suburbs area?
Yeah, probably like we're still staying in Ohio because my son still lives here and he's paralyzed and everything. So I don't want to move too far away, but a
Yeah.
little bit out. Yeah, we're in Ohio.
Oh, asked her how do you get into her business credit thing.
Yeah, Jane was asking why we wanted to enter into your business credit, the business portion
Well,
of
you
your.
know what y'all do if you log in, come and see me on set, email me, and I'm gonna work with you guys, Diamond, and if you can code them in so they can come in because they've been there. So email me and we're gonna give you a code and we're gonna let you go for over there for free because y'all been in the system almost like since it started. So y'all been yeah, so we got
Okay.
Diamond drop
Oh, yeah, thank you.
yeah, and you guys, I got you guys. I got you.
Oh,
And
good.
come
Okay.
and see me on the live too. So because I don't want to go into any personal stuff, but on the Saturday live, and when you go through the modules there, and then I can get you guys online to start with the business credit.
Okay. What day is the business credit on?
Go on a Saturday meeting.
This
And
Saturday?
yeah, but email us and go through the modules.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and go through the modules there,
Uh-huh.
and we'll go into details because I don't want to put all your information.
Yeah.
So I can talk to you about what y'all doing in business and what's the best way to set up in that direction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds great. Okay.
Yeah, but in those already have stuff in the modules and it's going to already tell you and you'll have an idea. So you can set up even ways where you can start working on an LLC for free. Yeah,
Oh,
that you don't have to
okay.
pay for free. So, but you just got to know if you want beforehand, we'll discuss before you go in that direction. So I can know what codes and give you some guidance there.
Okay. Sounds great. Thank you.
All right. So you won't be hindered because if you start off on the wrong leg with the banks, like I was just talking to Miss Deina, you like I was telling her online, you want to do an advertising and marketing company. You know what I'm saying? So you want to stay away from risky business. We want to make sure whatever you're doing that when you start that LLC, that you're using the right codes and get your name right too. So just for anybody on here, you don't want your name to scream an industry. You get what I mean? Because that might get you denied. So say properties. You know what I'm saying? Like if I say Diamond Properties, some of the banks, because of the name, might not even want to lend to you because they feel it's real estate or whatever. So certain names more like enterprises or, to use something that's don't scream industry like Sherry's trucking. You know what I mean? Like he's like, then so you want to start off even with the right name so you don't get, knocked down because everybody know or Sherry's taxis. Those kind of industries is already high liability, like that the banks know that, you know, they're
Uh-huh.
really just really dangerous, or have a lot of loss. So we want to make sure you're in the right category.
Okay, yeah, that's what we wanted to do. Make sure I wanted to start it out with the right naming, the right name and
The
everything
right
like
codes
the
too.
codes too. Yeah.
Yeah, the right
Okay.
codes. Because if you don't, like, so for anybody know with business credit, it's not just I got a good credit score by my behavior. Also, it's just certain industries you're in, you're never going to have a higher credit score than somebody in a low risk category. So going back to trucking, a trucking company is just going to have a lower credit score than somebody that may have a business of consulting, or a consulting business, or a business that's really low risk as a maid service, something like that's, or a software company. You know,
Okay.
software is not really high risk. So a trucking company, you're just going to always have a lower kind of credit score because of the risk involved.
Yeah.
So that's how they do it. The best that they can do you is in your category. What other trunking companies for that category do I have a high credit score? But you're always going to be looked at as a high risk industry. And certain banks just don't touch trucking. You
Uh-huh.
have to go to certain bank. I'm just using that as an example. They're just
Right.
not going to touch it. So you want to make sure you're putting yourself in a category that, you know, you have broad lending options
Uh-huh.
if we can, or your best lending options.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you,
Yeah.
ladies. I appreciate you
Thank you.
joining us. Thank you.
Okay.
You guys have a great night.
You too, Jane. Thank you. I'm so happy to see you guys. Thank you for coming up.
Yeah.
Jane, they've been with my elite credit sister coming in. They are some awesome ladies. Really always appreciate their support. And so we're gonna wrap it up. Hope you want to finish off with those questions, I mean?
Yeah, we have a handful of questions. Unfortunately, we won't be able to get to everyone tonight, but Mr. Edward, he wanted to come up, and I believe he had to leave, but he did send in a private chat.
Okay.
He wanted to know, how will the new changes affect medical bills from a workman's comp case?
I think those medical bills would be old. And if you have a lawyer, they are going to have to sue to pay that. I would talk to my attorney, because if you got a workman's comp case, and have the attorney maybe reach out to the medical facility. But those things will still be most likely owed on to you because you went and received the service.
The last question that we want to get to. So John Boyd said, I'm new here. Honestly, I don't want to do the work, but I would like to pay you guys. Is that an option? Can you talk about the elite credit system, and even for people that don't want to do the work themselves, how it's a lot easier for them to use the elite credit system, and why they should join the elite credit system?
Well, with the elite credit system, it imports your credit scores. And when it imports your credit scores, it's going to actually create the letters for you and the dispute options. Now, if you have anything that you need to customize, it'll allow you to customize it, but it pretty much do all the AI software do all the lending, hard heavy lifting for you. And so what it'll do, it'll let you know what your negative items is and what your positive items, and it will give you your disputes for what it picks up and generates. Now, all you would have to do is click a button, and pretty much those letters are going to come out ready for you. Now, far as the coaching side, we're there on Saturdays to help guide you. And if you have any issues, or if you have anything that you got going on, pretty much you'll deal with where you can give me your questions. And if there's things that we can find options to work with you to make it easier, and I can pretty much help you with utilization and some strategies to help you increase your credit score. So Miss Miller, she's part of the system. I love Miss Miller. Miss Miller also is part of the group, and she's one of the people that brings great information. So a lot of that too, dealing with people that's also working and building on their credit scores, they can give you things that's even working for them. So that's the part of the group. But I do understand if you don't have time, if a credit repair company is your best option, do that and search that out. But always look over what they're doing for you.
Yes, so there were many questions. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get to them all. However, thank you all so much for the participation tonight. We had a great turnout. And if you still have questions, you can either one, email us, but two, we will be back next Saturday. So if you would simply like to ask your question next Saturday, also, we do have opportunities for you guys to come up here and to speak to us and to join the live as you saw here before. But if you want that type of support and you want someone to help you with your credit, the Elite Credit System is going to be the best bet for you because we work closely and we prioritize our elite members. So I did drop that in the chat here. If you guys want to become and be a part of the Elite Credit System. Other than that, you guys could email us at howtoboostyourcredit@gmail.com if you have any other questions, or you could visit our website at Quick Guide to Boost Your Credit, or you can just simply type in sherrybeckley.com. It will also bring you to the website and you can ask your questions there.
Well, thank you, you guys. I appreciate you coming out and showing up. And we'll see you next week.
Yes. Quick, I just want to answer this question really quick. For the elite members, your group coaching starts at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but we start here 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and this is for the public. So just wanted to put that out there. So if you guys, we'll see you guys next Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
All right, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye.